I moved to rural Minnesota 5 years ago, craving the quiet after years of city noise. My house sits on 40 acres, the closest neighbor a half-mile through thick pines. I like it that way. No small talk, no expectations. Last January, the forecast called for a standard lake effect dump, but it turned historic. Winds hit 60 miles an hour, snow fell sideways, and the temperature plunged to -20. I was at the hardware store when it started, loading salt and batteries. By the time I got home, the driveway was already drifting shut. My key wouldn't turn in the front door lock. Ice had seized the mechanism solid. I tried everything. Lighter fluid from the garage, too windy to light. Hot water from the kettle, froze before it hit. Even hammering it. Nothing. My truck was still running, but the gas gauge was dropping fast, and the engine was already straining against the buildup. I couldn't stay out there all night. I'd freeze solid. The nearest house belonged to an old widower named Harlan. I'd waved once or twice over the years, but we'd never spoken. I trudged over, sinking to my knees with every step, flashlight beam bouncing off white walls of snow. When I reached his porch, I pounded on the door. It took 3 minutes, felt like 30, before a light flicked on inside. Harlan opened the door a crack, chain still latched. He was thin, gray beard, eyes sunken. "Car trouble?" he asked, voice flat. "Door's frozen. Need somewhere warm till morning." He stared at me like he was deciding something, then unlatched the chain. "Come in, but don't track snow." The house smelled of wood smoke and something metallic. He pointed to a chair by the stove. I sat, thawing, while he shuffled around the kitchen. He didn't offer coffee, didn't ask questions, just watched me from the doorway, arms crossed. I tried small talk. "Rough night out there." He nodded once. "Always is." His eyes kept flicking to the ceiling. I followed his gaze. Nothing but cracked plaster. But every few minutes there'd be a creak overhead, like weight shifting on floorboards. The house was single-story, no attic access I could see. "You got company?" I asked. He smiled, thin, no warmth. "Just the wind." I excused myself to the bathroom, mostly to get space. The mirror was fogged, but when I wiped it, I saw scratches on the glass, fresh, like fingernails dragged down in panic. My stomach dropped. Back in the living room, Harlan was gone. I heard footsteps above again, deliberate now, then a low murmur. 2 voices? One his, one softer, almost pleading. I grabbed my coat. "Thanks for the warmth, I'll head back." He appeared in the hallway, blocking the door. "Storm's worse. Stay." I pushed past. He grabbed my arm, stronger than he looked. "She gets lonely when it's quiet." I yanked free, ran into the night. The wind swallowed my shouts. I made it home somehow, broke a window with a rock, climbed in, called the sheriff next morning. They checked Harlan's place, empty. No sign of anyone living there for months. Utilities shut off years ago. But neighbors swore they'd seen lights in his windows during storms. I still drive past that house. Every winter, when the snow piles high, the porch light flickers on for a second, like someone's waiting.
I'm in a small village outside Bergen, Norway, remote enough that the postal service only comes twice a week. Last February, we got hammered by a polar low, zero visibility, winds that rattled windows like fists. I live alone in a cabin my grandfather built. I work online, rarely see people. That night, around midnight, I heard knocking, soft at first, then insistent. I ignored it, probably wind. It stopped, then started again, this time at the back door. I went to the window, peered through frost. A figure stood on the porch, tall, hooded coat covered in snow, face hidden. No car tracks, no footprints leading up, just him, perfectly still. "Who's there?" I called. A man's voice, muffled. "My card went off the road. Phone's dead. Please." His Norwegian had a strange accent, almost too perfect, like he'd practiced it. I hesitated. In these parts, you don't turn away someone in a storm, but something felt wrong. I cracked the door, chain on. "I'll call emergency. Stay there." He stepped closer. Snow slid off his shoulders. No melt marks on the wood. His boots were dry. "Let me in to warm up," he said. "Just 5 minutes."
I shut the door, locked it. Through the peephole, he didn't move, just stared at the wood like he could see through it. I dialed 112. While waiting, I heard him circle the house, slow footsteps crunching snow, then silence. The operator said help was delayed, roads impassable, stay inside. An hour later, the knocking returned, this time at the bedroom window. I pulled the curtain. He was there, face pressed to the glass, breath fogging it in slow circles. But his eyes, no reflection, just black. I backed away. He tapped the glass, gentle, rhythmic. Then the power flickered. When it came back, he was gone. Morning came. No footprints around the house, but on the snow outside my bedroom window, a perfect handprint, too large, fingers too long, and in the distance, near the tree line, a shape in white watched until the sun rose high enough to hide it. The village elder later told me, during the worst storms, something old walks the roads, wearing the face of the lost. It knocks. If you open, it doesn't leave. I keep the chain on now, even when no one's knocking.
I'm from Colorado. Used to ski anything. After 10 years guiding in the backcountry, I thought I knew the mountains. Last March, I went solo to a couloir near Crested Butte. Steep, rarely tracked, perfect after fresh powder. Forecast said light snow, low avalanche risk. I checked beacons, probe, shovel, standard kit. Skinned up under gray skies. By noon, wind picked up. Visibility dropped to 20 feet. I should have bailed, but the line looked too good. I dropped in. First turns were silk. Then the slope cracked, loud like gunfire. Snow moved under me. I tried to ride it, but it swallowed me whole. Tumbled maybe 50 yards, slammed into a rock shelf, buried deep. Left leg snapped, femur, compound. Pain blinded me, skis gone, one pole snapped, beacon buried somewhere. I dug a shallow pit with my hands, built a snow wall against wind. Hypothermia set in fast. I yelled till my voice cracked. No one around for miles. Night fell. Temperature plunged. I heard crunching, footsteps circling my shelter. Thought rescue at first, called out. A voice answered, close, calm. You heard bad. Couldn't see him through the whiteout. "Help me!" He laughed, soft, almost kind. "I can end it quick." I froze. Footsteps stopped, then scratching, like nails on ice, right outside my wall. I pulled my knife, waited. Hours passed, scratching continued, patient. Then a whisper through the snow. "Your friends are coming, but they won't find you alive." Dawn broke. No tracks around my pit, none. But my broken leg had fresh bandages, clean strips of cloth, tied tight, no blood on them, and carved into the snow wall beside me, a single word. Stay.
Search and rescue found me that afternoon. They said I was lucky, another hour and I'd have bled out. But they never found the cloth. Said it must have been my own gear. I don't ski alone anymore, and every time I see fresh powder, I hear that whisper, waiting for the next storm.